Hi,
Hello again.
I'm Chi Chi.
This is Chantel.
Yeah, and we are here to discuss The Housemaid by who's it?
Freida
by?
McFadden.
That's right.
Freida?
Yeah,
Freida
'cause
McFadden.
I just learned something new about the world of publishing.
Okay.
There's no copyright on. Oh, wait, is copyright the word I'm looking for? You can't patent. No, patent is not it, but you can't copyright the title of a novel.
I feel like that makes sense because there's so many of the same books.
Yeah.
With the same name.
So we could have
Right?
said The Housemaid and somebody else would think we're talking about a different book.
Yeah. There is actually another book called The Maid with the exact same, I
know.
yeah.
I know. Yeah.
So-
I saw that. Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, you know what? I've been doing a lot of summaries for these books lately. I'm gonna
take it and to go ahead.
So this book is about two women who are very different. One is a convict. One is a housewife who her husband is a billionaire. Their paths intertwine. What might seem like a coincidence is definitely not a coincidence. To uncover the husband's deceptive and dark secrets that eventually end up leading to his ultimate demise.
Okay. So I guess you could say you just summarized the entire book. I thought we were giving like a snapshot of the plot. Like, hello, this is a teaser. You were like, this is the beginning, this is the middle, and this is the end. I've done the reading, so you don't have to.
I didn't give too much away.
Oh, you gave everything away.
I said demise. I didn't say
if
death.
If you were to...
Spoiler! He dies.
Apparently, this is just demise and death. Okay, sure. I guess okay, didn't have to be the same thing, but yeah. Yeah. So yeah, spoiler alert. All right, this is a podcast in which we spoil the books that we
talk about the book, and so if you want to read this book, definitely stop listening. If you have read this book, I mean, I didn't give that much away. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Sorry.
I guess if the first few pages, that somebody dies, right? Because that's exactly how it opens. This is a thriller. It's a suspense thriller.
Let's start with the rating. Cheese, you want to go first or you want me to go first?
Okay, so I'm beginning to critique ratings in my head. I haven't told you about it, but now I am.
Okay.
Because I've been going through this sort of it's not a funk because you'd say reading funk if you're not reading, but it's not really a funk. I'm just having a hard time finding the book that gets me where I want to be, a certain level of satisfaction. These other books have just been okay, and a lot of them, the thrillers, have just been oh, bad. oh, bad, but in a good way, I guess. But so ratings, I know we've been giving them numbers, but I don't know, because I could like a book, but that's depending on so many different factors in my own personal life that just influences how I take to the book. Mm-hmm. I've read a book previously, Monkey Beach by Eden Robinson, and I absolutely loved it. It just happens to do more with where I was in that particular stage of life,
right,
where my reading was. And then the second time I read it, I didn't like it.
Right.
It was so underwhelming.
Right.
So a rating suggests that, I know it's all subjective, ratings are subjective, but it suggests that there's actually a precise number that you can give something. But I think it's a little bit more, it moves. It's more in flux than that.
Okay.
Right?
So based on that, what precise number would you give?
Oh, okay, good. Forget your ramblings. It's a 3.
Okay. Okay.
It's a 3 out of 5. Yeah.
Okay.
It was a fun book. I started initially reading it, and I was so annoyed because it was giving me the same Verity vibes. So there's just like cringy moments, and I really did think that the lead up, I believed the lead up. I did not see the twist coming, and so that lead up was that the romance between the main character and her employer, her male employer, the other woman's. Right, Chantal has already spoken about the other woman's. So the other woman's husband, I really did think that it was authentic, and we were supposed to buy into it, and it was repugnant. Like, I was so disgusted. I was absolutely mortified because honestly, it was just flashback to reading Verity. Thankfully, I don't think the sex scene was as graphic. So, yeah, at that point, I think this is page 123. All right, I just quit. I decided not to continue. Then Chantal encouraged me to read on. She said, "You've already made it this far.
That's true.
Why don't you just complete it?" And, you know, I just spent an Audible credit and listened to it. And listening to thrillers is
Much better.
just far more gratifying, especially when they're like losing energy dollar reading sort of type books.
Yes.
So like that you can, you know, move it fast on the quick speed. I really like it on 1.5 and just like get to the point.
Fast.
Oh yeah, I know. I think it's such a drawl. So I'm reading the book we're reading right now. I'm listening to that on slow because I'm wondering if that will affect the way I take
It's
the
awful.
book, you know. No, it's not that bad. It's okay.
Nope.
Okay.
But yeah, anyways.
But yeah, no. So when the twist in the book, when I got to the twist in the book, I appreciated it a lot more, because it wasn't doing exactly what Verity was.
Right.
And I just like, oh, we'll talk. I know we'll talk at length about this, but for me, it was like, oh, thank God. And Verity was the villain, right? She was the villain, and even though it tried to break down that concept right at the end with the letter,
I know,
like it
epic fail,
tried to disrupt everything that it established. In this book, The Housemaid, the husband is actually the villain, and you know, for me, as just absolutely cheesy and cheap this might sound, I derive a lot of pleasure from seeing the man as the villain as opposed to the woman. So I was just a lot more satisfied.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
I know. I remember you texting me that I am indifferent. Like, it didn't matter to me.
Yeah.
But for me, I think I'm gonna give it like a 3.
Okay.
I think 2. Right? You said 3.
I said 3.
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna give it a 3 as well. I was like you as well, right? Like, I was just flipping through the books. I couldn't remember the housemaid's name. Her name is Millie. So the book is written with like her perspective and then Nina's perspective, which is the wife, and then it all comes together.
What's her name?
Nina. Yeah.
Right.
So it all comes together. So when I had read all of Millie's part, I was like thinking it was one way, right? The story was going one way, the opinion was going one way.
You bought into it as well.
I bought into it, and then as soon as they switched to Nina, I was like, okay, this book is much better. Like, I was not enjoying the book as much as I thought I was going to, and then again they switched to the wife's perspective, Nina's perspective, which like completely unfolded everything we had just learned, and I really liked that. And then to find out that the husband was, I don't really know. I don't know clinical terms well enough to say anything. Like, I don't know what he was. You said you think he was sadistic? No.
Oh yeah, he was
sadistic
for sure.
And so that would be the reason that I give it. I did
enjoy doling out punishment on
because his mother used to do that to him.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it was just
like very psychologically.
Very, very psychological abuse.
Yeah.
And I mean, there was definitely physical abuse too, in terms of like the starvation and, did he ever hit them? I don't remember.
No.
Oh, yeah. And then the baby. That
What
was
baby?
him. Her daughter, Cecilia.
Okay.
Remember? Like,
What did he do to
so
Cecilia?
he drugged.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
he drugged
That's right.
both of them and
There was
then
this
staged
scene.
it as
Right,
if Nina was trying to drowned her baby.
Right.
Anyways, I was going somewhere with this rating. Oh yes, I listened to it, and I think that made a difference. I don't know if I could have. I don't know if I could have read it. Maybe it seems like a quick read. I'm just looking through the book now.
Oh, it's really quick. Like
Yeah.
I was skimming most of it anyway. I like that fast-paced reading where your eyes sort of just very lazily runs over the page.
Yeah.
And, you know, you're going through the page like minute by minute, like less than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah. Okay.
That
I
was
can
my
see
read.
that.
It's such an easy read.
It is.
Like,
Easy listen. But yeah, like I do agree with you in that because it was coming off of us reading and or listening to Verity and then Lisa Jewell as well. Like this was the third. We're like our podcasts are not in order, but this is the way. Although I guess I could release it in order, right? Yeah, we're gonna do that, right?
sure.
So this is the third kind of thriller-esque one that we've read, and yeah, it was kind of doing what Verity tried to do, what Colleen Hoover tried to do. I think I've said that multiple times, but didn't succeed. Lisa Jewell did it to a T. It was perfect.
And what is that thing that they're trying to do?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Okay. So like perhaps like I don't know, like manipulate truth, is that it?
But no, maybe just write the perfect,
Okay, that's what you
perfectly
mean.
structured thriller.
Got it.
Right?
Got it. Just the genre itself.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. The writing of the genre. Okay, I get it.
Which I guess is also subjective, but to me it's not. I don't know. I don't really have a lot to say about this book because it's like,
Actually, I have something to say.
yeah. Okay.
So my frustration with the book was right at the it wasn't even with this book. It was, you know, we're such lucky readers. We're graced with the first part of the second book. So what do they call that? Like anyway, when they include the introduction to the second book. So I read
yes, I liked this.
I
Yes.
did not.
Yes.
So there's a second book.
That's right.
It's I guess it's a
epilogue.
trilogy. Yeah, the epilogue. So there's an epilogue. And I think they included the introduction to the second book, right? I don't know. Maybe it was just the epilogue.
It was just that.
And so Millie, the housemaid, is sort of now this like not quite vigilante, but she's like this justice doling housemaid that gets hired by battered women whose husbands are inflicting violence on them.
We might have to pause though because the ending of this book. So basically, Millie. So Nina hires Millie in the hopes that the husband, I forget his name, will become obsessed with Millie and then take Nina's place in the abusiveness, which happens. That's exactly what happens. Except the only difference is that Millie has killed someone before. That's what she went to jail for. So she has no problem with defending herself and, killing this man, which is exactly what happened. Right. So that's why, it kind of leads up to this, okay, well, she killed this man and now she's going for other housemaid jobs and is saying, oh, Nina referred you. I have a similar problem, right? Yeah. Like, can you help me out? So exactly. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm not going to read the next ones or listen to them unless I have nothing better to do with my time. But I kind of liked that. I did enjoy the fact that, like, it was, like, kind of girl power. Like, she's getting after this guy. And I'm not one to usually like that. Although I do love spy and espionage and, like, assassination stuff. So I was like, oh, cool. Like this is not this. This is not this. I obviously recognize that's not the genre that it's going into, but that's why I kind of liked it, because I was like, oh, cool. Like just becoming this like kind of secret agent type of thing, like secret, you know?
Okay. Yeah. Well, yes. What I liked about this book is that it was subtle. Millie's murder of the husband was not purposeful. It was accidental, right? So even though Nina did hire Millie to sort of, because she had read that from Millie's background, she'd assessed that Millie would likely be violent and have a violent response. So even though Nina made that assessment and she was bang on, Millie, it was still an accident that Millie killed the husband. So I liked the subtleness of that. So it's just like a writing thing for me. I like the subtleness. I like the fact that, you know, even though that this book had so far established this narrative that Millie and the husband were, you know, cheating and they were in this like relationship, it just like completely turned that over its head. And it turns out to be that the wife, right, Nina, had planned everything all along because she was trying to escape from this abusive relationship. So I liked, well, it's subtle and it's not subtle, but I did like the subtle girl power stuff there, right? Like the subtle feminist implications.
Because what he was doing was really horrible. Like I was texting you and just saying like, I don't know if I can keep reading. Like I can't, like I can deal with like violence in books, reading it, you know, people slitting people's throats, you know, like like violence. But when it comes to the kind of abuse he was doing, like the psychological aspect of it was hard for me.
So I appreciated the subtleness of it. I didn't like it felt so elaborate, the setup for the next book and then the third book. This elaborate idea of this like woman who's, you know, taking on this role, and it's just like, you know, I really don't like when things play into a cultural energy, like a specific place where we are culturally. And right now, you know, liberal feminism is just, it's, you know, it's ubiquitous, right? It's like everywhere. It's in commercials. So like it just seemed like this book was exploiting that, like not this book, but the setup.
Right. Would you have felt better if the ending was, his name is Andy, by the way.
Oh.
Would you have felt better if Andy, it's okay, I had to look it up.
I'm laughing because I feel like our listeners might think I have something against men, because in every single episode I'm like, oh, I don't really care what the husband's name is.
That's not true. You didn't know what the other two girls' names were too. So
what? Well, yeah, because this book is so subpar. It's just really, you know. But like the books that we covered previously, so none of this is true.
Yeah,
I knew all of the women's names. I just didn't give an F what the husband's names are.
Not like the primary. Although, okay, yeah, I don't think so. I don't. You didn't give that vibe off.
Okay, good.
Okay, so my question: would you have felt better though if it didn't? Would your opinion of the book change if that epilogue was not in there?
The book is still subpar. My opinion of the book hasn't changed.
Okay.
I still feel very, you know, it's just okay.
Yeah.
It was a fun, like, daytime trashed, like, TV kind of read. You know, it was okay. It was enjoyable and in the moment. But, like, I will, even if I did not mind the preamble to the next book, I would not even pick it up anyway, because I just suck at reading second books and trilogies.
Yeah, even if they're really good. Have you ever read one?
I've read a really, really good book, a book that I loved, and I never read the second.
Which one was it?
Oh, it was a fantasy book by, oh, It's Gonna Kill Me Now, Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. I really liked it.
Okay. I'm going to pretend I know what you're talking about. I don't. That's definitely not my genre.
No.
Mine is Harry Potter, but that doesn't really count.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, I read Mistborn, and I just I always said I was going to read the second, and I just never did. Yeah.
Okay.
Books are journeys, give me everything in one and I'm done.
Yeah, but if you really like a character or you really like the plot of it, but I hear your point. Like, if the story is good enough, one and done.
The genre of trilogies and whatever, like books in a series, seems to be more and more popular. And I think that this is something with our modern book publishing industry, where, like you say, it's about like establishing a cult following. And if they see like booksellers see, oh, this is gonna sell.
Yeah, why wouldn't you, right?
You know what I mean? If a publisher sees, oh, this is gonna sell, then they'll renew or whatever. And like now it's just a very popular thing, common thing with modern readers. So like I
for all we know, Freida could have submitted this without the epilogue to her publishers, and her publishers were like, we need something more, right? Like
right. They could have even right at the contract stage, they might have been, oh yeah, I see the selling. No, you're gonna make this into a trilogy. It's so cheap and gross, it grosses me out. I don't like it.
I mean, you gotta eat, right?
Sure.
She's gotta eat somehow, pay her bills.
Oh god,
this is absolutely no smack at all to this author.
Okay,
sure. And this is not a slander or anything negative to the author. People are talking about it, and this we're not even talking bad about it. We're just talking about this, literally the epilogue. I have the book in front of me, and it is the last 20 pages.
Mm-hmm.
So like, that's the only thing we're talking about is this epilogue that we're just saying we're not going to read the next one.
Like,
I would never not read something maybe from her. I just might not read the second or third one unless I had absolutely nothing else to do.
I guess I wish I had more to say about this book.
Yeah, I don't.
The reception is really, like, people love it. Yeah, people love it.
I did like it. I really did I liked Nina's perspective. I really liked the second part of the book. I thought the first part, and I think I said this already, Millie's, it definitely gave us some context and some background, but it was that twist that really hooked me in and kept me going. And I think I listened to this book quite quickly as well. Maybe 2-3 days.
How much do you want to bet that they're going to make a movie out of this?
I think you make a good movie. Why not? Again, she's got to eat. People gotta, you know what though? I would rather the movie industry take books and make movies
really
than redo. They're making another Willy Wonka. Why do we, it's already another making. It's already out. Why do we need another Willy Wonka? There's been 3 or 4? What could we possibly learn? Again, that's a money grab.
I know.
Just making money. Why don't you give Freida McFadden money to turn this into a movie? Because she needs it more than whoever owns the rights, if there is any rights to Wonka. We don't need a third Willy Wonka or a fourth one.
Creativity is dead under capitalism.
That's what I mean. So this is what I mean. So when you're kind of critiquing I think they're going to make it into a movie as if it's a negative thing. I don't think it's a negative thing. This is an original thought, I think.
Okay.
She's going to get maybe paid for this. Same with Verity. Great. If Verity gets made into a movie, fantastic.
I'd be happy.
Colleen gets more money. Good for her. At least, again, they don't, they're giving, as much as I didn't like her writing, it's still the creative process that she should be getting paid for. Same with all authors. That's just my thought. I'd rather you take books and make them into screenplays and make them into movies or series or mini whatever. Then you remake 007, or I do love 007. I do love James Bond, but I'll go again with my Willy Wonka analogy.
Yeah.
I have no desire to ever see that movie or let my kids see that movie. I'll let them see the original or Johnny Depp.
Okay.
That's it. Doesn't need to be. They start another one. Even these Disney remakes, the live action. Why do we need it? We don't. It's cool, but We have the original cartoons. Why do we need a live action?
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Get some creative juices going. Make something else up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we kind of sidetracked on the Housemaid and didn't really discuss, which is fine. I'm okay with it because I honestly didn't have that much to say about it. It was just okay. Would I pick up another one of her books? Probably not.
Never.
Yeah. I wouldn't say never for me. Colleen Hoover is a never for me.
No.
Would I maybe? Depends. Maybe. Okay. But it would be like maybe a 1% chance.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Should we end it?
Yeah. Bye.
I think so. Bye-bye.